Hi, everyone. Welcome to a different Toast of the Town. COVID has disrupted my favorite night of the year. Just another change it's made to our lives. But in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty small. So kudos to the team for making it another memorable celebration of Detroit entrepreneurship, even in these unusual times. If you know me, you know my MO is radical honesty. And I think radical honesty is a philosophy that we could all use a little more of right now. So the truth, it's been a terribly hard year. We've all lost friends and family. The community has lost leaders and champions. We've lost hundreds of Detroit's small businesses, causing financial hardship for their owners and employees, extinguishing dreams. And we're still in the midst of it. Many of our clients are struggling to protect their businesses and their teams in the face of greatly diminished revenues and grave uncertainty about the future. Like you, I'm frustrated. I'm pretty anxious. There are just so many unknowns. Sometimes it's been hard to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's there, I promise you. And I want to describe for you the glimmer of light I see and how drastically different it is from the world we left back in February. See, back in February, the pre-COVID economy worked for those at the top and the denizens of corporate boardrooms, but it left 43% of Michigan households unable to afford basic necessities. No, I didn't misspeak, 43%. Despite the longest period of consistent economic expansion in history, more than a decade, despite unemployment at historic lows, more than 4 million people in Michigan couldn't afford to eat or see a doctor or pay the light bill or even get to work. And this wasn't a city problem. The worst areas were actually in rural locations. It was an everywhere problem. Not a single county in Michigan was below 30%. Entering the pandemic, 47% of small business nationally had less than 2 weeks of operating cash on hand. But if you went into predominantly Hispanic neighborhoods, this number jumped to 89%. In Black neighborhoods, 94%. But almost no one realized this dichotomy as the Dow soared. And then COVID hit and cast a glaring spotlight on reality. It made it clear that while we were all in the same storm, we were weathering it in very, very different boats. Many people still have incomes coming in, savings to fall back on, large houses and yards for social distancing, with reliable internet access to continue their jobs and their kids' education. Meanwhile, tens of millions of Americans are unemployed, facing a social safety net that has been made difficult to access, with little to no savings standing between normalcy and bankruptcy. Many others still go to jobs where they don't feel safe, and they're underpaid. More than 60% of the jobs in Michigan pay less than $20 per hour, but they have no other option. Here we are now. February is like a distant memory. In fact, it seems like a lifetime ago, and we're all looking for a new normal. And so we have an opportunity. Restarting our economy is going to require policymakers and economic developers to think very differently about what we need and what we value. We'll have to change how we work, who we design programs for, where we invest. We have the potential to ensure that the next economy works for everyone, that equity is prioritized, and that opportunities are not reserved only for the few. We need to change many of our preconceived notions about how capitalism works and for whom. So I'd like to fast forward to a February of the future. Might be 2021 or 2022. Anyway, come with me. You'll be able to pull out your phone to order curbside from the locally owned noodle shop a few blocks away. You'll buy pantry staples like flour, milk, and veggies from a restaurant nearby. You'll schedule Detroit Maid to tidy up your house right on your phone. You'll book a personal, curated online shopping experience to get your next pair of glasses. You'll know ahead of time which books will be on the mobile bookstore when it visits your neighborhood. These are all pivots that businesses right here in Detroit have made in just the last few months with our help. The lines between what we used to think of as two very different approaches, neighborhood small businesses and tech startups, don't feel so separate anymore. They can't be. And in truth, they never really were. Alyssa Space of For Her Cosmetics proved that technology is an essential piece of success for every business when she won spots in 2 of TechTown's accelerators. One meant for early-stage neighborhood businesses, and the other meant for early-stage tech founders. Business tools that used to live in the nice-to-have column are no longer optional. I can safely say that operating a business without leveraging technology is in our collective rearview mirror. We're leaving that back in last February. In truth, I'm really excited about the ways this will level the playing field. This holistic approach is going to make it easier for all Detroiters to access support, whether that's a free 25-minute open office hour with a TechTown coach or a structured, rigorous engagement to prepare a client for their first big pitch to an investor. TechTown has the team and the community partners to do it all. We're doing everything we can to remove every barrier to access these services and working tirelessly to ensure that there are no leaks in our pipeline. It's not enough to help people start a business. We need to make sure they're successful. So I'm here today to tell you proudly, boldly, that TechTown will guide and support anyone and everyone who wants to explore their entrepreneurial idea, from the most basic customer discovery to the most sophisticated ways to finance their venture. What if, in the February of the future, everyone who wants to climb the economic ladder has all of the access, tools, and support it requires to help them be successful? What if the virtuous promise of capitalism became a truth for everyone? What if? What if in the February of the future, the biggest predeterminant of your success isn't the color of your skin, isn't the zip code you were born into, isn't the size of your parents' bank account? What if? What if in the February of the future, the economy works for everyone? What if equity is prioritized and opportunities are not reserved for just the few that have the privilege to unlock them? What if? What if right now, together, we have the power to shout loudly to policymakers and say, capitalism can work for all Americans. Capitalism must work for all Americans. What if everyone listens? What if we make them listen? This is where I begin to feel hopeful. See, I've been an economic developer for more than 15 years now, first at MEDC and now a decade at Wayne State and TechTown. In that time, the language and the focus and the tactics have changed numerous times. We've gone hunting after foreign direct investment, sought to bring our tech sectors into the 21st century, and beat the drum of talent, talent, talent. We've used data-driven approaches that have prioritized base economic jobs, export-led economies, and high multiplier industries. And guess what? We're still losing. It's time to focus on inclusive economic growth, an approach that requires clearing your filters of who an entrepreneur is, what they look like, and what type of business they're starting. We'll need to design initiatives that acknowledge that we're all in different boats, that existing institutions were built on foundations of structural racism, and we must intentionally and insistently dismantle the barriers to access, and more importantly, remove the obstacles to success faced by the majority of our residents. As Detroiters, we've faced great challenges before and emerged stronger, together, with more hustle and grit than when we work alone. And together there is nothing we cannot accomplish, even making capitalism work for everyone. Are you willing to stand with me and your neighbors alongside our community and elected leaders and demand change? This will be the hardest fight of our lifetimes. Neither power nor equality have ever been freely given. But if we want an America that truly leaves no one behind, now is our chance to build it.